of the City of Davenport Zoning Board of Adjustment. First of all, I'd like to welcome you, Bridget Carlson, to being our new member here. Thank you for coming. And your participation in city government is appreciated and welcome. If you have a mobile device, please turn it off, as it may interfere with the room's electronics. My name is Jim Reisdorfer, Chairman. To my left is member Tom Quinn. To my right, which is on, do you call it Zoom? Angela Laybach. And to my far right is Dan Darlin. And there's ZBA board members present today. Staff.
Angie, can you put yourself on mute? There's a lot of interference in the background. I think we solved it. Can you hear us still? Well, you can't answer if you're on mute.
We'll hold up for a minute, Scott, until you get everybody.
Okay, we're not getting the feedback anymore. Can Melissa, can you still hear us? Angie, you can hear us?
They won't be able to respond.
Okay.
That was Melissa?
Yes, this is Melissa.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody can hear me, I hope. And staff present, Scott Coops and attorney Mallory Hoyt. The Zoning Board of Adjustment is a 5-member judiciary board established by state law. We are appointed by the mayor and confirmed by city council to serve without compensation for a 5-year term. The board meets twice a month to hear appeals involving hardships from strict application of current zoning laws. We also grant special uses and rules on administrative appeals. Are there any corrections to the minutes from the last meeting? None. Okay. Motion for approval?
Oh, so moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed? No, this passed. There's no old business. So the new business is a request SU 21-03 of Brent Fairbairn Melissa Hernandez on behalf of Jerry Jones at 4073 Northwest Boulevard for a special use for a major vehicle repair collision center in existing structure. Property is owned C3 General Commercial. Section 17.08.020 of the Davenport Municipal Code allows for a major vehicle repair/service in the C3 district, subject to the granting of special use in compliance with section 17.08.030.cc. Okay. Is the applicant here?
I am here. I'm present.
Okay. Staff, you want to give your report?
Scott Copes, Planning and Zoning. So if from the description, you should know that this is a special use request. This district is zone C3, which allows, it's called our general commercial district, but it allows for some of our more heavier commercial uses. And so there is a protection though for the district, and that requires a special use. So that's why we're here today for a heavy auto repair, excuse me, which allows for body work versus minor auto repair, which does not allow for body work and painting and that sort of thing. So I don't know how familiar you are with this site. We used to be called a Quick Change. It's the entrance off of Northwest Boulevard. Next to Ripley Street is where this is located, near the mall. And this is a zoning map. It just kind of shows you the C3. Most of the dark red here is C3. And then it also, I can point out the residential to the north, almost straight north of the building. There's some multiple family, and a little further beyond that, there's R3 single family. And this is a zoning, just kind of zoomed out a little bit further. You can see Brady Street, the cemetery, the industrial area by Gaines Street there. So overall, this use, that seems to be compatible with the zoning districts nearby. However, as I mentioned, there is some residential that's somewhat close to it. Here's the existing site plan. Right now, this is how the property is striped. There is no fence or anything around the property. This outline, if you can see it here, well, it's not showing up very well, is it? And this is the proposed site plan. They have planned storage for north of the building and also kind of southeast of the building. They've added a lane that kind of comes from the outside of the parking lot kind of into their space here to make for a little better traffic flow. They do have shown the handicap spaces and crosswalk pedestrian way. So this would be the front elevation once it's remodeled. The rear stays the same. And these are the side elevations, and they've added some of these doors here for accessing the building have been added. Right now, I think there was only one kind of on the southeast side of the building, and now there's at least three, if I count them, 4 doors, I believe now. This is kind of their internal flow, so you can kind of see how they come into the building. Not necessarily needed for our review. And then this is the notice map. We sent out notices to all property owners within 200 feet, and we have not received any comments back either in favor or against. So in our review, we did note one thing that is somewhat of a concern, or something that we want to make sure is worked out, is that the permanence of the mall, it's based on having a lot of masonry and quality materials for the mall, things that stand the test of time. And so rather than the petitioner had asked for a vinyl fence, our condition is we're recommending that it be approved, but it would need to have a more solid fence, like a CMU or a wall, a CMU block or brick wall or other equivalent durable material. So the special use will not endanger the health, safety, and welfare. If conditioned with this wall, that wall will help buffer the residential properties to the north. Special use is compatible with adjacent nearby uses. Again, that's with the wall, we think it can be. And the special use consistent with the intent, spirit, and adopted land use policies. So when I talk about the zoning nearby and the type of businesses allowed in a C3, staff feels that is a correct statement. It does meet the land use policies. Staff recommends approval of the request. There's 4 conditions. The first one is that it's in conformance with outdoor storage, which it will be as proposed, but we do want to make that a condition. Second is that they match the design and materials of the mall, protect adjacent property, proposed fencing shown on the site plan shall be replaced with a wall comprised of CMU block or other similar product. And then the gates don't obviously have to be CMU block or a brick, but they do have to be a solid. And then just a reminder, chain link in privacy slats is not allowed for this site. The third condition, should complaints arise due to non-compliance of these conditions, and or if staff is aware of infractions of these conditions or any other code violations, a rehearing of special use shall be scheduled per Davenport Municipal Code specifications for ZBA special use public hearings, at which the special use may be modified, approved, or revoked. And the fourth condition, the special use shall be limited to this owner only. Should this business be sold wholly or by more than 50%, a new special use shall be required and shall have a public hearing per the Davenport Municipal Code requirements for zoning board of adjustment special use hearings, should the new owner wish to continue this use. And so that's staff's report. If there are any questions from the board?
Go ahead, Tom.
Scott, where is this fencing located? It's hard to see on the screen here.
Yeah,
That you're
the
talking
fencing
about.
is going to be at the edge of their parking areas. Let me see if I can get a laser pointer. So if you look to the southeast, there's a strip of grass there that separates. Maybe I can zoom into this. That's an option? No. Let me see a different one, maybe. I don't know if it shows it better here. It's a little bit zoomed in more. But at the edges of their development, there'll be a block wall around those three sides, and then there'll be gates where it faces to the southwest. And so they'll have two areas where they can store cars that are going to be worked on and or have been worked on that will be fenced off. Melissa can give us exactly how many spaces are going to be fenced off in those areas. I don't recall exactly off the top of my head anymore how many there are. But staff felt comfortable with the number they are. They're sufficient.
So there's a substantial amount of fencing then. It's not just a few feet. I mean, it
Right,
sounds like
it-
it's
yeah,
the
the-
perimeter of the
right.
lot almost.
Yep.
Because
You
the
know,
sellers,
the back would probably not have to have any fencing because, so it'd be they'd have three sides on each side of the building around the kind of the parking areas. And then it wouldn't come in front of the building. It would be even with it.
yeah, durable materials like what you're talking about, that's a fairly significant cost, you know, just curious. I don't have any other questions.
Dan?
No.
Scott, maybe I should just wait till the applicant when I can ask the question, but maybe you could. It says on their sign, caliber collision. When you read that, it indicates it's going to be a body shop or repair of vehicles.
That's correct. They're allowed to do, this is for a major auto repair, which includes body shop, painting, pretty much everything you do to a vehicle, but it doesn't allow it for larger vehicles, like what we call RVs or, I don't know, some other vehicles that are larger than typical passenger vehicles.
So they could do oil changes, tire changes.
Right, they can do the same amount of, they can do what the minor auto repairs can do, and they can do what the major auto repair can do.
Is staff concerned, obviously, when your car gets wrecked, and they tow it into the shop, they obviously leave it on the property. Are you concerned that there's going to be many cars that they put out on the lot to have an eyesore out on that?
If you look at the staff report, so they need to meet 1708-30 CC, which states that, you know, that has 7 conditions, and so they can only leave those vehicles out there for 15 days once the
Okay,
repair
yeah.
is complete. So they'll be limited on, they can't store them indefinitely.
Okay. Yes, go ahead, Dan.
So I do have a question, Scott. Are there considerations, speaking of wrecked vehicles, for environmental, like if they're leaking antifreeze, leaking oil, et cetera?
Yes, we had our natural resources officer look at it, and the condition that we have, the operator has indicated in their application how they're going to operate the property, and it's in adherence with state and local and federal code, so they will meet all of the environmental requirements for them. And so if there is an issue, then we could pursue that through those channels.
All right, thank you.
You know, Scott, I got one more question. The hours. You know, I guess that you don't want a lot of pounded and machine working at 12 o'clock at night. Is their hours going to be 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night?
Yeah, that'll be, the applicant will have to address
Okay,
what the hours are
I'll
going to be.
address that with her then. Thank you, Scott. Okay. The applicant is here, so we'd like to, I'm sorry, staff, do you got any more, I'm sorry, members, you got any more questions for Scott? Okay,
No.
okay.
No.
Applicant, you want to, usually we say come to the podium, but if you want to present your case, you want to give us your name, please?
Yes, good afternoon. This is Melissa Hernandez. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. Scott, if you could, thank you so much for the presentation. And if you could please just put the screen on the proposed site plan, because I'm going to have to discuss that shortly. So my name is Melissa Hernandez from Cross Architects, and we are the architect for this Caliber Collision. And we are willing to meet the conditions of the SUP based on the reports that Scott has given. So first of all, I would like to thank everyone for taking the time to work with us on this proposal. So just to give you an idea about the company, they are the largest collision repair in the world with over 1,200 locations across the nation and about 20,000 employees. So they're kind of the industry standard leader in this field. We've done a lot of both greenfield and brownfield projects across the country for them. And they also have contracts with all the major insurance companies and run a first-class operation to keep insurance companies and customers happy. They are a very oriented customers. They have a very customer service oriented process, and one of the main goals is for them to be located closer to their clients for convenience. So this location that we are presenting today is within the mixed-use area and is located within the largest commercial nodes in Davenport. So I think that this would be a perfect site for them to be able to reach out to their clients within that area. They take really good care of their customers and are very concerned in protecting their brand. So I'm sure that they are ready and willing to conform with the special use requirements and conditions for vehicle repair and services. So the existing building, if we are looking at the screen, that existing building has an approximate area of 15,960 square foot, which was previously occupied by Quick Change Auto and Tire Center. One of the question was the hours of operation. So that would be from 7:30 a.m. and to 5:30 p.m. and Monday through Friday. And they would typically have 19 to 21 employees in each of their location. So we are planning to get at least 14 production stalls on this, 1 detail bay and 2 paint booths in this location. And I would like to emphasize that all repair activities will be conducted indoors and completely screened from public. So I think that shouldn't be a problem. So all vehicles received for repair will remain behind a screened wall. The parking spaces at the north and the south of the building will serve that purpose. And so basically we will be improving the building. So those parking spaces on the north and the south will be screened, and we are willing to meet the requirements of using the masonry material or more, hold on. Yeah, so we are willing to meet that condition of using a masonry fence. So we will be improving the building as much as we can to make it closer to a new facility. So if, I would be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any member have a question for Melissa?
Nothing from me, Jim.
No, nothing for me.
Melissa, I got one question that Scott brought up about, once a vehicle is brought to your lot and put into one of your bays or to get repaired, I don't know if you know this answer, but is it an average around, 5 days, 10 days before it gets into the building to be fixed?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Melissa? I don't think she can.
Hello?
Yeah, so I don't,
Melissa, I can hear you. I don't know. I'm online, so.
So, yeah, for some reason, I'm not hearing anything.
I don't think
I'm
the
not sure if
chairman
I'm
was
still
speaking into the mic
connected
clear
or-
enough.
Yeah, yes, you are.
Okay, good.
I don't know if they're not using the microphones or,
Yeah,
What the
I think
problem is.
you have to make sure you're
I
facing
can
the
hear
mic.
you.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me, Melissa? This is Jim Rice-Struffer,
Can't hear
chairman.
us. That's so strange.
You're not on mute.
No.
They can't hear you either, or me.
Melissa, can you hear me?
That's so.
Scott, is anybody talking?
I don't hear anybody.
Where's the chat feature?
I'm gonna try to send a message.
Thank you.
Where did the chat feature go?
Thank you.
Chat, there we go.
Strange.
We can hear you. Working. I don't know why it's not working. We will.
I don't know if you saw the message or not.
I sent it at the same time you did. It should be there. Okay, I don't know if you can hear me, but I sent a message via chat. Can you hear us at all yet?
Okay, Scott just sent a message on the chat.
Mm-hmm.
I think he said he can hear us, and they're working on having us hear them.
So did
Okay.
Melissa, did you hear me? Probably not. I don't know, should I just restart the meeting? Pardon me?
Can you
How
hear
did
us?
that get muted?
Can you hear us? Melissa and Angie? Can you hear us now?
Hello, yes?
Oh,
Huh.
This is
success.
Angie?
No, this
Oh,
is
sorry.
Yes,
Oh.
I can hear you now.
Okay, great. Okay, so I'm not
success.
sure how far you guys heard my presentation, but
We
Yeah,
heard your whole
we
presentation.
heard the whole presentation for you, yes. And then Chairman Rice-Struffer had a question.
Yeah, Melissa, can you hear me now?
yes.
Okay, well, it's an open-end question. It's an unknown variable, so I'm just going to withdraw my question. So, are there any questions further from any board members to Melissa? Does anyone in the audience want to speak in favor of this request? Well, I see none. Anyone in the audience opposed to this request? Well, I see none. Applicant, do you have any final comments that you want to present to the board?
No, I just want to thank everybody for your time. And yes, I wanted to give you an assurance that we are fine meeting all the requirements and the staff recommendation for the SUP.
Well, thank you. Any board discussion? Tom?
None from me.
Well, I ask for a motion.
I recommend approve.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Was
Do
that,
we have to put
was that subject to conditions?
Yes.
Yes.
Tom, do you want to confirm that is subject to conditions?
Yes.
Did
So-
you make the first, or did Darlin do the first?
Yeah, so I recommend approve SU 21-03 with the conditions proposed by staff.
Do I have a second?
And I'll second.
Do we have to have a roll call?
Yes.
Okay.
Laybeck,
Yes.
Darlin,
Yes.
Quinn,
Yes.
and Rice Dropper.
Yes. Melissa, your motion's been approved or granted, and thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well, with no other business, I call for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Yeah, second.
Okay.
Oh, that's
All in
it.
favor? Aye.
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 We're adjourned.
See everybody later.
Yeah.
Hey,
Thank you.
thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.